when we would be discussing on new evolutionary school, our focus would be on these three thinkers: Leslie White, Julian Steward, and Gordon Shield. Okay, so these thinkers are new evolutionists. Please write down that many people, we are talking about 20th century actually development in anthropology. So new evolutionary school is making their theories on the basis on the theoretical orientation of evolutionary school. So definitely they are making some changes, and this school emerged as a reaction against two earlier trends. Okay, so you people have to just write it down. The new evolutionary school. So we have got two trends. Okay, the first one is classical evolutionism. So when we are discussing new evolutionary school, how come and how it got emerged? So you would say as a reaction against two earlier trends. So as a reactions against two earlier trends. Okay. So classical evolutionism of the 19th century, first of all. So what are those two trends? Classical evolutionism. Okay. So classical evolutionism में, Lewis Henry Morgan, Edward Burnett Taylor, R.L. Merritt, and so on. So Lewis Henry Morgan, Edward Burnett Taylor. Okay, these were the propounders of these thinkers who simply said that society moves in a unilinear direction. Okay, this is classical evolutionism. And then you have historical particularism. So you have historical particularism led by Franz Boas, which rejected grand evolutionary schemes. You must be remembering, like you must remember this, and emphasized unique historical development of each culture. Okay, so this was led by Franz Boas and reflected unique historical cultural development. So what new evolutionists did, new evolutionist school kind of revived evolutionary theory. इन्होंने क्या किया? एवोल्यूशनरी थ्योरी को रिवाइव किया. एवोल्यूशनरी थिंकिंग को they argued that it is very much scientific. Okay, so इन्होंने कैसे किया? So they proved that how evolutionary theory is scientific. They have provided evidences. Okay, and have shown flexible ways in which Society is moving from one direction to the next. Okay? नहीं नहीं नहीं. So now they are asking questions like, why do societies become more complex? Okay, now they are asking scientific questions. How does technology affect culture? Okay, how does environment creating social systems? Are there multiple paths of development? So new evolutionists now asking some important scientific questions, which was earlier not asked by evolutionists or classical evolutionists. So they worked on, new evolutionists worked on their criticism, because evolutionary school got highly criticized not providing theories, evidences. Now, new evolutionists talk about that, okay, the unilinear evolution or the development can happen in diverse ways. So these people talk about multilinear evolution. I would be discussing this. We do have three thinkers. Leslie White, okay, you must have written the names. Julian Steward and V. Gordon Church. Okay, so we do have Leslie White. Okay, we do have Julian Steward and V. Gordon Church. Okay, so these are the scholars. Now, first of all, let's have clarity over what is new evolutionary anthropology. So we can ask this question. So what is new evolutionary school? It developed mainly in mid 20th century. Pehla point. Developed mainly in mid 20th century. Okay. It accepted that societies, इन्होंने accept किया, please write down quickly. It accepted that societies do change and develop over time. तो इनका कहना था कि जो आपकी societies हैं या आपके जो culture है, this is, these culture and societies are going to change and develop. Okay, change होगी, develop होगी, but rejected the old idea of fixed ladder of civilization. Yes, over time, gradually. Okay, but यहाँ पे इन्होंने रिजेक्शन तो किया. रिजेक्शन क्या था? That society will not move in the fixed trajectory. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि पहले definitely savage है, okay, फिर barbaric हुई, and then civilization. So they rejected this. Okay, so this theory got rejected. So old idea of fixed ladder of civilization It got rejected. Instead, this अब इनको कहा इन्होंने कि भाई ऐसे तो हम नहीं बोलेंगे कि ऐसे evolutionary school is correct. They were saying that we need to bring evidences, we need to bring facts. Okay, so पहला point इन्होंने क्या किया, scientific analysis. Okay, technology पे फोकस हुआ इनका, energy use, environment adaptation, okay, so these people now started arguing with respect to evidences. ठीक है, ये याद रखना. तो इनका क्या था, इन्होंने एक अच्छा टर्म बताया, दैट इज मल्टीपल. ओके, तो एक फिक्स को इन्होंने बिल्कुल रिजेक्ट कर दिया, मल्टीपल एवोल्यूशनरी पैथवेज. डेवलपमेंट होने के बहुत सारे मल्टीपल वेज हो सकते हैं. तो अनलाइक, राइट डाउन लिखा ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो अनलाइक ओल्ड एवोल्यूशनिज्म, टू अंडरस्टैंड, अनलाइक ओल्ड एवोल्यूशनिज्म, जो ओल्ड मॉडल था, सेवेजरी, बार्बरिज्म, सिविलाइजेशन, उनको इन्होंने रिजेक्ट किया. डिफरेंट सोसाइटीज इवॉल्व डिफरेंटली डिपेंडिंग ऑन रिसोर्सेज, टेक्नोलॉजी एंड हिस्टोरिकल कंडीशंस. तो अब इन्होंने एक नया थ्योरी बनाया, न्यू थ्योरी. they have got new theory. Different societies evolve differently. ओके, ये याद रखना, डिपेंडिंग जो भी रिसोर्सेज है, जो भी आपके रिसोर्सेज है वहां पे, जो भी टेक्नोलॉजी है, जो भी आपकी हिस्टोरिकल कंडीशंस है. ओके, डिपेंडिंग. Okay, now we'll talk about Leslie White. This is clear? He's the strongest defender of evolutionary theory in modern anthropology. He believed culture progresses, defender of evolutionary theory. कि सोसाइटी इवॉल्व कर रही है. ओके, तो इनका मानना था, लेस्ली वाइट आर्ग्यू, कि जो कल्चर है वो प्रोग्रेस करता है मेनली थ्रू इंक्रीजिंग कंट्रोल ओवर एनर्जी. तो इनका जो फोकस था, इट वाज ऑन एनर्जी. तो कल्चर डिपेंड करेगा कि कितनी फास्ट इवॉल्व कर रहा है. इट इज ऑन द कंट्रोल ओवर एनर्जी. Control over energy. So you can say energy theory of culture. इन्होंने एक फॉर्मूला भी एक्सप्लेन किया था. ओके, बना लीजिए इसको. हियर इट इज T. आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग. T equals to degree of cultural development. Degree of cultural development. Because इन्होंने एक साइंटिफिक वे में एक्सप्लेन किया था. ओके, E is energy harnessed. जल्दी से लिखेंगे. I will explain everything through PPT also. Energy harnessed. Okay. Here you will see कितने times में कितनी जल्दी आपने you will see technology को efficiently use किया. Okay. So efficiency of technology. So you will see here, guys, degree of C. You can see degree of cultural development. तो कल्चर किस तरीके से डेवलप किया आपका, आपकी एनर्जी कैसे हार्नेस हुई, एंड एफिशिएंसी ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी. ओके, so you would see Leslie White is trying to explain that see culture is evolving. Definitely it is evolving, but it is totally dependent on technology. Okay, how you are using energy. So this formula can also be written as, write down, the degree of cultural development depends on the amount of energy harnessed. The degree of cultural development depends on the amount of energy harnessed per person, per year, per person, per year, and the efficiency of technology. I am repeating, the degree of cultural development depends on the amount of energy harnessed per person, per year, and the efficiency of technology. So he would say that you can see that culture is definitely developing. If you people can scientifically analyze increasing energy sources, okay? So right now you can see human muscle power, energy का कितना तरीके से use हो रहा है. If you will focus on energy as per this theory, तो आप देखो, first of all, human muscle power. Human muscle power, animal power, agricultural energy, fossil fuels, write down everyone, nuclear energy. So you can see here, in a different ways, we are using energy. Okay? So in hunting society, we were using human labor, different from industrial society using electricity and machines. Okay? So what he did, please write down, he reintroduced macroevolution in anthropology. Macroevolution into anthropology, technology as per over time. Okay? And this is what he explained. Okay? Now you will see here, so we can see there are people who are explaining, parabolic curves, you know. So Leslie White, this is the one, and he has explained in terms of energy and the evolution. So this was the work, the evolution of culture. Culture evolves as the amount of energy harnessed per capita per year is increased, or as the efficiency of the instrumental means of putting the energy to work is increased. Okay, so he has given this information, you people can write down. Okay. So Leslie White has explained in this manner, culture evolves from simple to complex, driven by technology, harnessing greater amounts of energy, 4 stages of cultural evolution, human, animal, steam, internal combustion, nuclear, so materialistic model, material base, superstructures. Okay, so Marx explained relations of productions, class conflict, technology and extractions of energy. Okay, so technology and economy, social and political organization and ideology. Okay, you will later on see this. So this is a Leslie White. You can write on cultural materialism. He provided scientific insights to the evolution of culture. He created a formula that measures the degree of cultural development. Okay, so Leslie White, according to his basic law of cultural evolution, other factors remaining constant, culture evolves as the amount of energy harnessed per capita per year is increased, or as the efficiency of the instrumental means of putting the energy to work is increased. In other words, a more advanced technology gives humans control over more energy, and culture expand and change as a result. In describing what has happened in the evolution of human culture, he assumed that cultural evolution is determined strictly by conditions inside the culture. That is, he explicitly denied the possibility of environmental, historical, or psychological influences on cultural evolution. White divided culture into 3 components. Technology consists of basic subsystems, which includes tools, weapons, and knowledge of their use. Socio-structural, marriage, kinship, and family. Ideological, beliefs, and morals. So technological subsystems dominate other 2. So White argued that the technological aspect is the basis of cultural evolution. Aspect is composed of material, mechanical, physical, and chemical instruments, as well as the way people use street techniques. Okay, so this is how you can see Leslie White has given importance to technology. So White's argument on the importance of technology goes as follows. Technology is an attempt to solve the problems of survival. This attempt ultimately means capturing enough energy and diverting it from human needs. So Leslie White is now explaining, okay, and then this is the formula he has given, which I've already explained. So is a cultural development, E is energy, T is technology. Okay? See, it is like, this is what you can see. Basically, so that argument which I have made you explain, that is what. All you just have to remember that the more technology you have used, okay, the more progressive you are. So that is it. So culture is proportional to the technological development. That is okay. So you can see here it is written like this, for typing purpose and also what. You just have to understand the theory, even if you're not writing the formula. It is about simple. How much culture you have, like, how much technology in any culture you have used. It is like that, okay? So you can see here now. Here again he has given some more formula. S is social organization, N is nutrition, P is protection, and R is reproduction. So it is not like mathematical hardcore formulas. Okay, so the core here is simple, that the kind of technology is being harnessed in any culture. It would decide your cultural development. So they're trying to explain how culture is evolving from simple, being savage, to complex. So they are explaining with respect to uses of energy that you need to understand. Okay. So it is like they are given the theories or formulas to explain. So it's basically relying on the energy use. That's what you people have to understand. Okay. Hmm. No, you need to, if Leslie White, see, first of all, I don't think so that you are going to get only on Leslie White, okay? But even if it is going to come, if you write like slash, or if you're writing multiply, see and all, but then you are explaining, it will be correct, okay? So here that one statement is important which I have made you write, okay? So that is what you need to actually understand here. Okay, so he differentiated now 5 stages of human development. In the first, people use energy of their own muscles. In the second, they use energy of domesticated animals. In the third, they use energy of plants, refers to agricultural revolution. In the fourth, they learn to use the energy of natural resources, coal, oil, gas. In the fifth, they harness the nuclear energy. So White made a distinction between evolution and history. History is concerned with particular events unique in time and place, whereas evolution is concerned with classes of things and events regardless of particular time and place. Okay? Is this now clear? So you need to see this is as very, like, it's very important explanation of new evolutionists. Okay? Now, we do have Julian Steward. Please write down Julian Steward. So Julian Stewart took a different path from White. He argued evolution is not universal. Different societies adapt differently to their environments. Okay, so what he says that he argues evolution is not universal. Okay, and then different societies adapt differently to their environments. depending on their environmental conditions. Okay. So what was his main theory? Multilinear evolution. He says there are many paths for, yes, these three are, yeah, but just different aspects. Okay. So Steward argues that society evolves according to ecology, resources, technology, mode of subsistence. Okay. तो जो societies हैं वो evolve होते हैं कैसे? Societies evolve, how societies evolve? Ecology, resources, technology, mode of subsistence. Okay, so this was Steward, you can say, most famous arguments. And you would see that his focus was on how culture adapts to environment. Okay, so you can write on this. So our desert society, for example, our desert society may develop water conservation system. Desert society may develop water conservation system, nomadic pastoralism, flexible kinship cooperation. It is very much related to their survival. Okay, या तो water conservation system हम बना लेंगे, या nomadic pastoralism का, right? या flexible kinship cooperation. A river valley society may develop irrigation agriculture, dense settlements, centralized authority. Okay, so अगर river valley है कहीं तो वहाँ पे irrigation agriculture आ जाएगा. So it is like different societies are adapting differently. So his focus on culture core, ये याद रखिएगा. His focus was on culture core. Meaning features closely related to survival. Okay? जो भी उनका survival रहा उस पे, right? Economy, technology, labor organizations. Interestingly, you will see Gordon Shield, okay, another evolutionist. He studied long-term social evolution through material remains because he was archaeologist. Material remains. He explained how major revolutions transformed human society. Okay? Since he was an archaeologist, so he explained through material revolutions. So he explained Neolithic revolution, okay, urban revolutions and all. Okay? So what you can understand, you people can have a comparative summary, very easy, I will explain it more. Leslie White focus on energy and technology. Okay, write down. यू कैन सी कि लेस्ली वाइट का अगर आप समरी देखें तो लेस्ली वाइट का जो फोकस है, लेस्ली वाइट का फोकस क्या है, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, ठीक है। उनका जो फोकस है ऑन एनर्जी एंड टेक्नोलॉजी, ओके। उनका क्वेश्चन क्या है, उनका क्वेश्चन है हाउ मच पावर कैन सोसाइटी कंट्रोल, okay. So this is what you will see with respect to Leslie White. Then Julian Steward, write down environment and adaptation. So you people are going to get all three thinkers. So इनका focus क्या है, environment and adaptation. Okay, right? इनका क्वेश्चन क्या है, इनका जो क्वेश्चन है, प्लीज write down how do societies adjust to ecology. Okay, see, these three are new evolutionists, but using different perspectives. Okay, अब we golden shield, इनका focus on archaeological evidences. Okay, so archaeological revolutions. His question was, how did agriculture and cities transform humanity? How did agricultural and cities, how did agriculture and cities transform humanity? Okay, so this is what you will see. These three thinkers have explained in a very different manner. Okay, so White has given a formula to explain how society is using, explanation, right? Energy. And Julian Stewart is explaining cultural ecology. Okay, so culture and ecology ka development is explaining. Okay, so this is what you will see. And we do have Chill, who is explaining with respect to revolutions. Okay, so he has explained in terms of revolution. The first revolution that transformed human economy gave man control over his own food supply. So he is explaining in terms of revolution. So Neolithic revolution, urban revolution, and industrial revolution. So these people are actually explaining that yes, society do changes. Okay, so it moved from simple stage to complex stage, but not in a fixed pattern. Okay, so they have explained, various thinkers have explained that how we are using this. Okay, for example, we do have a multilinear point. Okay, so new evolutionary theory has used parabolic scheme. Okay, so the first stage, common ownership, shortage of clothes, sexual promiscuity. This is your hunter and gatherer stage. Then you have become to the second, you have got to the second stage, individual ownership, body covered clothes, like we have started wearing a lot of clothes, monogamy. Now again, this is today's time. If you will see, today we do have large corporations. So there are common ownership. Okay, so you do have board of controls, bodies. So you do not have any one owner. You have multiple owners. Okay, MNCs, right? And you can see nudism. Then you can see sexual freedom. So in a way, multilinear evolutionists are arguing that the kind of society which we are living, it is very much in a way similar to the first stage. So this school revived the study of change after Gaussian historical particularism. Definitely it helped anthropology to understand long-term development, technology and production. Long-term development भी आपको समझ में आ रहा है. You are understanding technology and production, environment and adaptation, complexity, state formation. Okay, so neo-evolution also help us to understand and influence. Ecological anthropology आया, archaeology आया, development studies, political economy. So definitely this school is also not free from criticism. इनको भी काफी criticize किया गया. Too much focus on material factors. Less attention on material and less attention on culture, meaning on culture. Oversimplify diversities. Ignores colonialism and power. Okay, so this is their major criticism. So you will just see, I would personally believe that new evolutionary thinkers, okay, new evolutionary thinkers modernized evolutionary theory. Okay, so Leslie White explained development and energy. Julian Steward explained development and through environment and adaptation. And Shield has explained with respect to archaeological evidences. ठीक है, मतलब agricultural revolution आया, Neolithic revolution आया, urban revolution आया, and so on. So together these thinkers argue that society do change, but not in over simple universal path. Okay, I hope you people got clarity over it. All right, thank you so very much.